business, there's one moment that destroys almost every empire. Not competition, not bad luck, not even failure. Greed. Because once people taste unlimited money, they stop asking, how do we build something great? And start asking, how much more can we take? This company was once unstoppable. Investors worshipped them. The media called them the future. Their CEO became a symbol of genius. Billions of dollars flowed in. Private jets, luxury offices, celebrity parties, endless expansion. From the outside, it looked like success. But behind the scenes, everything was rotting. Employees were terrified. Executives were lying. The numbers were fake. And the empire was quietly collapsing from within. Then one day, the illusion shattered. Billions disappeared. The company imploded. And the world realized it had all been built on greed. This is how greed destroyed a billion-dollar empire. Every empire begins with a dream. At first, the company actually had a mission, a bold idea, something people believed could change the world. The founder was charismatic, obsessed, relentless. He spoke like a visionary. Investors loved him. Employees worshipped him. Customers trusted him. And slowly, the company exploded. Revenue doubled, then tripled. New offices opened everywhere. The media couldn't stop talking about them. Every interview sounded legendary. Every product launch felt revolutionary. People started calling the founder the next Steve Jobs. And that's when the dangerous part began. Because success changes people, especially when billions of dollars suddenly appear. The company stopped acting like a startup. Now it wanted power, status, domination. Executives demanded faster growth. Investors demanded bigger profits. Everyone wanted more. And in modern business, more is never enough. The pressure became insane. Quarter after quarter, they had to grow no matter what. Even if the numbers didn't make sense, even if the business model was failing, even if the company was bleeding money behind closed doors. Because on Wall Street, perception matters more than reality. And as long as the stock price kept going up, nobody asked questions. This is where everything changed. The company no longer cared about building something meaningful. Now it cared about appearances. The CEO started living like a king. Private islands, multi-million-dollar mansions, luxury events with celebrities. Executives rewarded themselves with massive bonuses, even while the company secretly struggled. Employees noticed something strange. The company was expanding too fast, hiring too many people, burning insane amounts of cash. But internally, nothing felt stable. Deadlines became impossible. Meetings became toxic. People were pressured to lie. And slowly, the culture became corrupted. Anyone who questioned leadership was removed. Anyone who exposed problems was silenced. Because greed creates fear, and fear destroys honesty. The company started manipulating numbers. Tiny successes became historic breakthroughs. Losses were hidden. Risks were buried deep inside reports nobody read. Investors kept pouring in money. The valuation skyrocketed. $10 billion, $20 billion, $50 billion. The empire looked invincible. But underneath, it was becoming a ticking time bomb. And the worst part, most people inside the company knew it. But nobody wanted to stop the machine, because everyone was getting rich. At its peak, the company was everywhere. Social media worshipped them. Business magazines put the CEO on covers.
I have to say, that
Podcasts called him a genius. Young entrepreneurs copied everything he did. People thought the empire would last forever. But the truth was horrifying. The company wasn't built on profit. It was built on hype. Every new investment round bought them more time. Every media headline distracted people from reality. The business itself was collapsing. But greed has a strange effect on humans. When money is flowing, people ignore obvious warning signs. Employees ignored corruption. Investors ignored red flags. The media ignored contradictions because nobody wanted the fantasy to end. And then, someone finally asked questions. A journalist, an analyst, a whistleblower. At first, the company laughed it off. They called critics haters. They attacked reporters online. The CEO gave confident interviews, but confidence can only hide the truth for so long. Soon, documents leaked. Internal messages surfaced. Financial reports stopped making sense, and panic began spreading through the empire. The collapse happened faster than anyone imagined. Investors pulled out. Banks demanded answers. Employees started quitting. Customers lost trust. The stock crashed. And suddenly, the billion-dollar empire looked fragile. Then came the nightmare. Layoffs, emergency meetings, executives disappearing overnight. The same people who once screamed about changing the world were now desperately trying to save themselves. The CEO still pretended everything was under control, but internally, chaos had already won, because greed destroys judgment. Instead of fixing problems early, leadership kept hiding them until the problems became impossible to hide. And that's the thing about empires built on greed. They don't collapse slowly. They collapse all at once. One day you're untouchable. The next day, everyone runs away. The media turned against them. Former employees exposed everything. The internet mocked the company non-stop, and billions of dollars vanished almost overnight. The empire was dead, not because the idea was impossible, not because success was fake, but because greed corrupted everything. Most people think empires die because of competition, but history shows something different. Most empires destroy themselves. Rome, Enron, FTX, WeWork. The pattern is always the same. Success creates ego. Ego creates greed. Greed destroys discipline. And without discipline, collapse becomes inevitable. The terrifying part is that this cycle keeps repeating because humans never learn. Every generation believes, this time is different. But it never is. The more money people make, the more disconnected they become from reality. And eventually, the empire stops serving customers. It starts serving greed itself. That's when the countdown begins. Today, the company barely exists. Its offices are empty. Its reputation is destroyed. Its founder became a warning instead of an inspiration. But for a brief moment, they had the world in their hands, and they lost everything. Not because they lacked intelligence, not because they lacked opportunity, but because greed convinced them that the rules no longer applied. And in the end, that's what destroys almost every empire. Not failure, not competition, greed.